Parents, no doubt, have plenty of questions about how schools are preparing for the imminent arrival of the Omicron variant.
And we'll get into all of that in just a second. Big issue for parents, right, with those kiddos in school. But if you're just joining us, we brought you breaking news at the top of the hour that school's Chancellor Meisha Porter stepping down to focus on a new role in the new year. And Meisha Porter is joining us now. So good morning to you, Chancellor. Thanks for making this one of your stops this morning.
Absolutely. Good morning to both of you. So good to be with you.
So, Chancellor, let's begin with that big news of your departure, stepping down as Chancellor at the end of the year. In the middle of really a busy academic year, why did you feel that this was the time to move on?
Well, you know, I'm stepping down, but I'm stepping up for a community that I love and that I'm so proud of, and taking on this new role as the inaugural CEO of the Bronx Community Foundation. And so continuing my work in the Bronx has always been important to me. And I felt like what better time than this?
Yeah, you know, for a lot of parents are probably wondering what happens from now until your departure. What are some of the things that are left on your agenda that you'd like to see completed? Maybe, you know, the Gifted and Talented program. It's still up in the air.
So parents should be clear, every day that I remain in this seat, I will be doing this job. I will be the chancellor until I transition to my next thing. And absolutely focused on gifted and talented and building brilliant NYC so we can leave a blueprint for the next administration, focused on continuing to develop the Mosaic curriculum. It is going to be a phenomenal add to our toolkit of ensuring that our students see and experience themselves in their classrooms every day. And I'm just going to continue to make sure our schools are safe, you know, and so that students can continue to be where I know they belong, in their classrooms with their teachers.
So before we get to some of the new aspects of your new role, you mentioned the word transition. So what does a transition look like, Chancellor? Have you spoken to the incoming mayor-elect about your decision? And also he did his comments about the education system have anything to do with you deciding to step aside?
You know, I spoke to Mayor-elect Adams and shared with him my decision. He is supportive and looks forward to being supportive of me in my new role. And, you know, I believe in this system.
Yeah.
I believe in the people in this system. I would not have taken on this role if I didn't. And so what I'm really excited about is that there are great people that are here that are going to continue the work. And I look forward to working with the transition team to make sure that things go as smooth as possible so we continue to do the most important work, and that is serving our students and our families.
And when you did take on this role as Chancellor, I mean, challenging time in the middle of a pandemic. So what do you think the next Chancellor needs to possess to succeed in that role?
Well, I think, you know, what I've been, people have been super complimentary towards me around the way I engage with families, communities, and our leaders. And I think that is what's most important. Listen to the people who are doing the work, our teachers, our principals, our school safety workers, our custodians, cafeteria workers, the people in the building. Hear the voices of our young people. They have so much to say and they know what they want and what they need. And finally, the thing I've said over and over again, the job of the system, the school system, must be to wrap itself in support of, around our students and our school communities and our leaders, and work in service of them and not the other way around. And that is the best advice I can give any system level leader.
I'm sure you've heard the rumors, Chancellor, about David Banks becoming possibly the next Chancellor, and you and him have a history really launching a high school in the Bronx together. Your thoughts on that name in particular?
You know, David was the founding principal of the Bronx School for Law, Government, and Justice, where I ultimately succeeded him as the principal. And, you know, I said this the other day, I say it again. If you go to one school to find two chancellors, that says a lot about that school and that community and the work that came out of there. And also from the Bronx. And so I'm super excited for what is to come, and I wish David all the best.
Which makes it very fitting where you're headed next. So let's talk about what's next for you. Your career has often kept the Bronx at the very forefront. You were the superintendent there, and now you're becoming the CEO of the Bronx Community Foundation, a new nonprofit. So can you tell us a little bit about that and what your focus will be?
Absolutely. So the Bronx Community Foundation is going to be the first of its kind, a foundation dedicated to supporting and investing in Bronx neighborhoods, but really leveraging relationships in the community and working with community stakeholders across the borough to identify challenges and design solutions, you know, around our 4 pillars of sustainability. community, equity and justice, economic security, and health. There's so much more to the Bronx, which is why I'm excited to lift the borough and be a part of moving it forward. But what's always been key to my success is working with the people and bringing folks to the table. So the people who we are supporting and working with really have a seat in the decision making forward. It's my advice for the next chancellor, and it's my advice for myself as I move into this role.
And we can hear how passionate you are about it. The Bronx has always been running through your veins, right? Tried and true right there. And I'm sure we'll be talking to you in that new role when you eventually take it, Chancellor. Don't forget about us, okay? So, but while we have you here and you're still in this role with your Chancellor hat on, I got to talk to you about the huge topic right now that parents are concerned about, and that is, of course, Omicron, right? Which hasn't been detected in New York, but you're not waiting until then to respond to it. So how is the school system preparing?
You know, like we have the gold standard for health and safety. We continue to work very closely with DOHMH. We're going to continue masking. We're going to continue testing. We are going to continue vaccines. We know, Dr. Choksi said this, I spoke to him last night, our best defense against Omicron is ensuring that our folks are vaccinated. Now that we have the 5 to 11-year-old vaccination, it's a game changer. And so that's what we want our folks to continue to do. We want people to continue to get vaccinated. The school system has been a model for that. And I want to ensure other city agencies do the same thing so we can do what's important and keep our babies in school.
So do you know the percentage of students that are vaccinated?
We have up to about approximately 75% of our students are vaccinated, but we are still collecting information about vaccines from students and families, and we are still offering those vaccines in our elementary school buildings. You know, our elementary school parents stepped up right away for vaccinations. And so we want to continue. School is the hub for the community. We want to continue to make those resources available in the buildings.
Well, Chancellor Porter, thank you so much for your time this morning, and we wish you the very best in your new endeavor.
Thank you so much. Thanks for being a part of my experience in this amazing role.
All right.